We're in here.
We're in here.
Oh, is that even the same team?
Ooh, it doesn't.
I don't think that was the same team that we've ever seen. I don't want to gas the performance up too much, but that might have been the best performance that NYCFC has had as a club. I mean, name a better one.
Yeah, definitely probably within the last long as is even worth remembering. Like, definitely this tournament, I mean, it was a complete night and day change.
My question.
Yeah.
That type of pressing does not happen overnight. So when was Ronny planning, like when that was his last chance, obviously, but like if we have to go and score just two against Inter Miami, why don't we bring that out? Because there's no chance that he did that in like 6 days. There's just no way.
But in what world is there a manager that has that in their back pocket and saves it for, like, I don't know, just for this?
I don't get it.
Because as far as he knew going into Miami, there wasn't another game. Like, realistically, that's the mindset that you had to approach. There was not another game. And if he just back pocketed that for whatever reason,
and for that reason, I'm still not Ronny in.
it's irresponsible.
It's so irresponsible.
Yeah.
If you have our best performance in your back pocket, granted, like if you're not that confident in it yet, and you didn't know that they would be that good at it, it didn't look that great in training, maybe, but that kind of pressing doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, well, if that was like the testing game to find out if we can do it, so that means that moving forward, that's what we're going to look like. We are a problem for the rest of the league.
But I feel like Ronny is overthinking, and he probably thinks that Portland is planning for that type of press.
Mm-hmm.
And so what, does he now sit back defensive and then maybe press the second half?
Yeah, well, there's not much. I mean, there's only so much you can do to even avoid, a type of press like that. Like that was just like, and you mentioned this during the game, is like, it wouldn't be shocking if the City Football Group was like, hey, Pep, give Ronny a call and just teach him a thing or two. Because that to me looked just like City football. Like the second that Toronto would get possession, you would see like 2 to like 3 dudes like close in on them from all angles, get that little tap away pass that just falls to one of our guys. And then they were even doing like the tiki-taka thing. Like they were straight one touch passing it like all the way up the field and stuff. Like it was just an incredible performance, honestly.
Yeah, and it was really good pressing, but also it was a press, but they were trying to lock out Bradley. They were trying to take him out of the game and hope that he couldn't pull the strings, which I don't know. I know they've relied on Bradley to do that, but why? I think he's a scrub at this point. But
yeah, well, that sort of probably made the game plan a little easier because there's only so many people in that team that you have to game plan for. And I guess if you're going to respect Bradley, he's one of them. But there's really no one else in that midfield that you have to game plan for. We got lucky that Akinola was out because he's just been tearing up the whole tournament. So, I mean, really, if you're looking at threats on the field for them, it's like Pozuelo and it's Bradley. So I guess if you shut down one or the other, then the other one's just going to have a frustrating game. And that's kind of what we saw because you saw Pozuelo like whining often throughout the whole game. So that's probably something, and we'll talk about this later on in the podcast, is the upcoming game against Portland. But we're probably going to have to employ a similar tactic to get like Valeri shut down. But then the problem is that they have other pieces that are dangerous, like Blanco, Iboise, and Diego Chara. Like the announcer was saying when we were watching the FC Cincy game in Portland, like Diego Chara and Diego Valeri hold every single stat for the club. Like they're the leaders in every single stat except offsides, which Adi has. So like, passes, assists.
So happy we don't have
everything.
Him. They don't have him anymore.
Oh, that's the best. I think that's our downfall. We could get pace abused pretty easily.
Yeah,
in a way.
I was gonna say I trust Tinnerholm and Mats. I trust Tinnerholm. I'm on the fence with Mats.
Mats pried our trust from our hands.
Going forward, Mats is my man. He's my guy.
Yeah.
But defensively, it's just sometimes it gets sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he panics a little bit.
A couple of different guys in the defense you see fall into like the ball watching mentality occasionally, and that's actually one guy that I'm happy we didn't see really do that was Chanot against Toronto. I think I'm not saying he was like one of the best in the 11, but in terms of the minutes that he put in this tournament, I think those were probably his most solid. Because honestly, my biggest pet peeve with Chanot is in all the other games, like if you watch any of the goal highlights that were scored against us, it's literally Chanot standing there and just like watching a ball go over his head or just watching a striker take a shot and not like just being frozen. So he had a decent game too. Really, everybody, you don't have a game like that where pretty much everybody is not having a decent game.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of defended with their life and for the badge.
Yeah.
But it was a complete game from Ronny. I'll say that. I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I've slagged him off for 2 episodes now, but I think that was genuinely the best I've seen from him. Especially, I liked when he got on the sideline and he was yelling at the guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're up 2 goals and he's yelling at the team. That's what we want to see. We at least, I'll accept a 1-2 loss or even 2-0 if we played really well and it looks like we're trying and the manager's trying.
Yep.
I'll take it. I'll take it on the chin.
Yeah, if there's just some passion flowing, That's cool. That's enough that you care.
Go to the school of Tati, get some passion, play for the badge. But yeah, I mean, even looking forward, Portland, I mean, it's another game that we're not supposed to be in. So, I mean, actually, we earned it at this point, but we're not supposed to be in the tournament anymore. Just show passion. Just play with heart, and I'll accept whatever happens.
Yeah, I think one thing that probably at the start of the game or even before the game that we didn't necessarily agree with Ronny with was like the lineup that was put out. Like a lot of people, including us, we were like, well, not
Don't
necessarily
say us.
I'm not talking about
You.
Medina, but the lack of Maxi and Hebert was definitely concerning.
For me, it was noted.
Yeah.
But I looked at the lineup, and it looked good to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood why. I mean, you can look at our Twitter.
Yep.
I was saying it's hard to keep Tati out.
Yeah.
It'd be really harsh to keep him out because he's been
shooting.
He's been shooting and getting. He's the only one really getting chances up to that point.
Yep.
Outside of Medina having that freak goal, but it was harsh to take him out. And Ronny was saying that he was just talking about how he prefers Medina as a number 10.
Right.
So, Maxi being on limited minutes, Medina being in Ronny's eye at that moment, it just made sense to me. So I trusted the lineup when I saw it, but it didn't seem like Twitter really liked it.
We were scrolling through everything. It was like, oh, we're dead before we started just because we're missing our key guys. I kind of hope though, talking about the lineup being maybe rough from the beginning of that game, I think now moving into this next game, I almost want to see the same lineup. Like,
I think we can't have Shradi, but pretty much everything else.
That's true. Yeah.
Honestly, what we'll probably see is essentially the same lineup. Hebert probably comes on as a sub, but you have Maxi in there at number 10 and Medina out wide, like we saw when Shradi came off.
Yeah.
Which also looked great. So
it did.
It's hard to. I mean, it's good at this moment. I feel like it's hard to make a lineup,
right,
and to make changes in it. That's always good, to have some consistency. But
yeah, after that game, it's definitely huge to have consistency because all those players know what they were able to go out there and do. So if you start moving too many pieces at once, then you'll probably screw up a little bit of the chemistry that you created last week. But I think I agree that I would probably want to see Tati in as a starter over Hebert right now. Just because now that Tati got that goal, I think he's going to probably be feeling a little bit better, a little more gassed up with himself. And he may, players get into that rut where they start feeling themselves and they start burying goals. And on the inverse, we see Hebert stuck in that rut where he's not scoring goals because he double tapped the post and then the crossbar.
Do again?
Yeah. And I think if he probably scored one of those, I would possibly consider Hebert starting over Tati, just off like a mental standpoint. Because if if that would have gotten Hebert going, essentially, it would be important to keep him hot. Because I think when both him and Tati are hot, I would say I'd rather prefer Hebert in there. But because he's not hot, then we got to roll the hot hand, stick with our boy Tati. Because I think he could probably get another goal, definitely another assist or something with the way that he's been performing.
I mean, realistically, I have no idea the fitness of Maxi. So, we could even see Hebert starting as striker and Castellanos out wide because he's versatile like that. He can play on either side, either wing. He can play up number 9. So you could even see, Tati out wide, Medina in the middle, and Hebert. Honestly, that gets me excited.
Yep.
And Maxi coming on late is obviously, as we saw, very important. Getting the goal and the assist off as a sub. Personally, there's no wrong I feel that we can do.
Yeah.
As long as we play for the badge, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's another thing that Ronny definitely did good for us was, all the subs he made, all were directly involved with a goal or an assist, except for Hebert. But realistically, he should have scored twice, and he was very close to doing both. And he even had the dummy shot that he let roll to Maxi. So that alone, he was definitely a part of that. He had a part in making that goal. Because you see Maxi get a goal and an assist. You see Mackay whip that assist in
Hebert
there.
had an assist.
Or did he? He did have one?
To
Okay.
Maxi.
Oh, right. So all 3 subs coming in and having a part in an assist or a goal, you can't be mad at that in any way.
Even, you can make an argument for Acevedo to get more time.
Yeah.
Maybe 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a little dependent on what the score is looking like. I don't think I would necessarily be too comfortable if it was a tie game or something and we put him in before the 80th minute like we sort of did the other day. But in the minutes that he did play, he looked extremely solid, as he could hold his own on the pitch.
Hear me out. This is controversial. If we're worried about Portland's pace, and we have a young lad by the name of James Sands on our team, and we have an old man on our team by the name of Chanel, why not drop Chanel, throw Sands in there, and throw Acevedo in the midfield?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if we're dealing with pace.
Yeah, that could work.
Collins, you're not worried about his pace. Tinnerholm, you're not worried about his pace.
No.
Moss, you're definitely not worried about his pace.
Yeah, it would just
be crazy, but
yeah, that could be a package that we even fall into late game. I don't have a problem with doing, that would probably be one of the subs that I would be cool with getting Acevedo in there earlier in a tie game or any type of situation where we're not winning, is if it was a strategic thing. Obviously, I think that would be actually a pretty solid idea.
Yeah. If we're getting, let's say it's early, 20 minutes in, we're down 2, and it's we cannot deal with the pace at all, I think that's a sub that's probably necessary. Yeah. Even though he controls, I think Chanel is the captain of the defense, at least in my eyes, that's what it looks like. So it would be tough taking him out, but I trust Collins.
Yeah, I think Collins and Sands are both, they hold their own. Tinnerholm, we don't have to talk about him. He's more than good enough.
That pass though.
That was
so filthy.
That was like a Ben Sweat type of thing. Remember, 2-3 years ago with that Ben Sweat ball. It was almost just like that. Not quite as good as Ben's, but it was a dot for sure.
No, you know what that pass reminded me of? The cheek of Pirlo.
Yeah.
To just because Tinnerholm, all he's ever really done is bang them from outside of the box, bar down.
Yep.
That's his stamp.
Yep.
And then he fakes that and just dinks the pass to Medina. And Medina, a little lucky to have it go off the hands, but it's from the pitch being wet. So, put it on target, good things are going to happen. And he did that, and I told you. I just want to say I told you. I just need my moment to tell you I told you.
Yeah, well, that was one of the major problems that I had with the lineup. I was fully bought in to we like Keaton more than we like. I don't even like Keaton like that, but we like Keaton more than we like Medina train, and that was purely based off the fact that Medina he's definitely a better finisher. That's no doubt. If I was to take Keaton or Medina, I would rather take Medina. But I don't know. I just felt like Medina had gotten a couple games in. I thought that his one shot was a little bit more of a fluke. But really what it turned out to be was he was just settling in. And then we saw him settle in this Toronto game and really kind of impose his will and go off like he did. So I think we were a better team without Keaton in there versus Medina. So
I have a few problems with what you just said, because I don't think Medina played bad in the last 2 games he's played. I think he's been arguably one of the better players in the team. I know a lot of guys on Twitter, they'll pick apart his stats.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the first 2 games of the tournament, doo-doo water.
Well, that was a team-wide thing, really, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how it takes so much to stand out in a horrible team.
Yeah.
We're playing horrible, but against Inter Miami, wonderful.
Yep. I think after those first 2 games that everybody, including myself, kind of fell back on, if the whole team is performing bad, including him, then what else do we have to look on? And it's his past. And he's had a real rocky past with the team, like even a non-existent one, really, because like we talked about with Tati, how Dame and Vieira never really wanted to give Tati light. It was sort of the same thing with Medina. They both kind of came in and they had an opinion on him and they kind of kept it that way. And then he had his injury concerns as well throughout the period. But I think, we all kind of fell back on that and we were wrong. I was wrong. I'll say that.
Look, it's a slippery slope in this to where you start to sound like an Arsenal fan who you can't, as much as it is easy and you're upset and frustrated after a terrible game, you can't fall into the trap of starting to slag off players too soon. And Medina, for sure, I think has proved that everyone was talking about him too soon. Mm-hmm. Like you just said, he's just now getting a good run in the team.
Yeah, with a manager that trusts him from the first time.
In the correct position, where he's actually going to shine. That's how you should judge him. In better circumstances.
Right.
Granted, there's players out there who, you throw them on the right wing, they're gonna have their best games at right wing. You can throw them on the left, throw them in the middle, and they're gonna play outstanding. But we have to be realistic and say, look, he's having 2 great games. How do you drop him, and how do you judge him? Is it gonna be on those 2 games, or the past where he was spidey and playing not that much?
Yeah, I think he definitely has to stay in the team for this Portland game. He has a hot hand just like Tati. And when you have that, you're going to play well and you're going to contribute to, goals. Basically. I think, like we were saying already, like he should probably stick with as much of the lineup as he can, except for Izzy. And the next best thing would be what we had at the end of the game with Maxi in there and Medina flexed out wide. So hopefully Medina can keep up what he's doing out wide, when he's not sort of filling in for Maxi's role, when Maxi's, not necessarily fully fit. But, yeah.
How do we feel about the Portland game?
The Portland game? Well, so when we were watching it, it was like, I don't know, I was trying to sort of gauge how we may do against them based on
either team, really. I mean,
either
for most of the game it was tied up.
I mean, I think for sure I definitely would have felt a lot better against Cincy. They, to me, sort of looked like the worst team throughout the game. Like almost the entire first half. Like I don't even know what the percentages are, but there's no way that they were in Portland's side of the field for longer than like 10 minutes. Like they couldn't have been. Portland was consistently just peppering their goal. Blanco was always getting in behind them. Ibo Isse was always getting in behind them. Valeri was playing like stinging passes into the box, and these guys just weren't necessarily able to finish them. Cincy's goalkeeper was sort of having a good game, definitely. But really, they were on their back foot most of the game. You would, for the most part, they had like 8 to 9 guys in the box, and then they would just keep, 2 attackers up sort of near midfield, just trying to hopefully gain possession and kick something up and get a counterattack going. But I would have preferred them. I really wish that Locadia would have sank that one shot. I was praying. It was just so unfortunate that he couldn't get that done, and then he has to go on and miss the pen too in the shootout, which was just so annoying. I could see why Brighton sent him to the MLS where he lives now. But Portland's a good team. I think they're better than Toronto, I would say. It's definitely going to be a rougher game, and we kind of just have to tie up Valeri like we did Bradley and hope that the other dudes don't make us pay.
I was trying to look up how to spell his name really quick.
Who's that?
Is it Locadia or is it Locatia?
No, it's Locadia. Like Locadia.
Well, now I feel extra stupid because I was at work today, and I was just thinking about the game, and I remember when he had that absolute sitter in front of goal, like absolute sitter.
He wandled it.
Yeah, yeah. And in my brain, I was like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny? Like he couldn't find the location, but it's Locadia." I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
Did you know he was on loan from Brighton too?
Yeah.
That's so
FIFA guy, you know.
Yeah.
But that's insane.
I could see why he's not in the Prem, but it's a whole different conversation. Dude, I just wish he scored it. I wish we were playing Cincinnati so much more than Portland.
No, wait, with the form that their keeper's in, regardless of the penalty shootout.
Yeah.
With him, I mean, Tati can kick a ball.
Yeah.
He can get some power on a ball. That man couldn't catch Corona at an airport. He couldn't. He looked so poor.
The Portland keeper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he starts. That's my fear, is that some other guy starts and he ends up having the Cinderella movie like ending where he has an all-star game and wins the job.
Well,
that's what I'm
even at the
genuinely
same
scared
time, he like almost personally costed them the game. Like,
how do you start him? How are you Portland, and how do you start him knowing that he literally couldn't catch anything?
And then in the penalty shootout, it wasn't even that he saved. They had just two skies. Locadia skied it, and their center back skied it. So he didn't do anything.
In the penalty shootout too?
Yeah.
Oh man. See, I fell asleep for the penalties.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
He skied it, and then their center back came in. Dude, and he did he didn't even do a run up. Like, he took 3 steps back and like walked up to the ball and just shot it so far over the top of it. And it was just like ridiculous.
Completely off topic. While I was kicking around today, I was just messing around trying to hit free kicks. I did the no run up, like just stand and shoot. It went so far over the bar that I got stuck in a tree, and I had to use the other soccer ball to get it down. That's rust right there.
Still probably better than Locadia though.
Probably. Some say his penalty's still coming down.
Honestly, those two awful penalties sent me. If you looked in my YouTube history, then I started looking up penalty run-ups, and I was deep in like watching Neymar's and Pogba's. I forgot that Pogba.
You know who's really good at penalty run-ups?
Who's that?
Bruno Fernandes.
That's what I was just about to say. Was Pogba has been relinquished from his duty, which sort of sucks because he had a really cool penalty run-up that
I don't know
sort
what his
of worked
plan
out
was with it though. Like
Pogba's.
Yeah.
I think
somebody overthinking.
Yeah, I think he would just take a random number of steps so you don't even know when he's gonna shoot. So he would just do the little jockey stuff, and then just be like, all right, shoot. Just so because you can kind of read if a dude's running up to the ball, he's gonna get there at a certain time.
That's because you're plant foot, but
yeah. But he'll do those little steps, and then you're like,
that's why good? That's why Bruno does the little run and jump, because what he does is when he jumps, the keeper starts to move because it happens so fast. He starts to move so that he just goes the other side.
Yeah. Oh, he does like the jump and hit with his one foot, just like
Jorginho.
Joseph too.
Joseph Martinez does that too.
Yep.
Oh, he did that against us.
In the playoffs, was it?
Yeah, because we were at your parents' house.
Yeah. No, I saw that too because they were showing Jorginho's, and I was like, oh, he does it. And then somebody did it the other night, I think.
Yeah, no, the game
in the Vancouver game.
Yeah, the game right before, whichever game was played right before Portland and Cincy, they went to penalties as well.
And one of them did the hop step penalty.
Or you could do the Messi in a international final and just kick it over the stands. Kick it out of the stadium.
Kick it to the moon.
As far as
what I really don't want to see?
What?
Is us in penalties. Not because I don't think that we can win them. My heart, the heart is not taking it. The heart's not taking.
My heart couldn't take the start of the last game. My heart was beating so far out of my chest.
The 15 minutes that it took for us to go up was the most tense.
5. But
5, whatever. It was so quick.
I think we lost possession within those 5 minutes, and I was like, oh man, this is when it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen quick.
Well, even the end of the game when we were up by 2, and after Mullins scored, Toronto was getting dangerous, and that's what you said when we were watching the Portland game. Was you were like, you could see exactly how what's his name scored, not Barco, I can't remember his name, Blanco. Exactly, Blanco. He didn't score, but how he played it in.
Yeah.
And like,
I could just see our defense crumbling.
Yeah, we sometimes have that situation where there's like one play where we get lazy at the end, or not lazy, but just exhausted, and we let one thing happen. And I could actually definitely see that happening to us.
Yeah, well, I think Ronny has to change how he organizes his defense, because against Toronto, we didn't trust their width. We kind of disrespected their width and how they cannot play from the outside. Like, they just couldn't play us on the wings. So we were constantly leaving it open and just having Tinnerholm make up or Mott's make up for the space. We cannot do that against Portland.
Most of Portland's game is wing play.
Yeah,
and then
whipping crosses in.
Then even if you cover the wing play, occasionally you're gonna have Valeri shoot a ball up the middle that
he'll get the ball, turn and kick. It's so fast.
He had a couple shots where it was like, oh, he's liable to rip one eventually if he keeps getting the chance to take them. So that free kick was really close.
Yeah, I wanted that free kick. That free kick gave me a little bit of nostalgia from the 2015 MLS Cup final, where he scored an absolute banger, and he was Jesus to me for a year.
Yeah, I have his jersey.
Yeah, he was so cool. And that was in the period where I was really starting to get into soccer. So I was a young, impressionable soccer fan, and he captured me with a banger.
Yeah. Although good news is I was playing my NYCFC FIFA career mode today. Round of 16 in the US Open Cup. It was against Portland.
Ooh.
And I felt like it was up to me to decide whether or not we can, like, if I lost that game in FIFA that we were going to lose by the same score in real life. We won 3-2. In extra time. There's no extra time, so I don't know. Maybe we're gonna win by pens.
So I do this awful thing.
I don't even want to know.
I do this awful thing where if a team I like wins, I'm convinced the other one's gonna lose. Like I've convinced my brain that I only deserve one team winning at a time, because that's just how my life has been.
Like, you're like, I'll take.
Yeah, like I'll take.
You can have Man U.
Yeah, United lost today.
Yeah.
NYC is gonna win.
Yeah, that they sacrificed for us to thrive.
I have this awful, and when we won our last game, United had qualified for third place that day.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, it's looking slow for the boys. Like, I literally I didn't want to go home. The drive home, I was like, oh, it's gonna be a rough day.
I've definitely done that with the Pats in NYC before, when we were like in the playoffs or something, and I'm like, bro, just take us out of the playoffs right now, just for us to get like this last regular season win for New York. And I don't care.
It's so toxic. Like, why can't I just accept that two teams can win?
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
Well, it happened once.
Yeah, so only that. I feel like that's the only time I can remember that it's happened.
Yeah.
But
we also, I can't say that. You sort of like really bad teams. Minus NYCFC, but that's beside the point.
I mean, I would say that I follow teams who are struggling at the moment.
Yeah, they're in their down years in a way.
But look, I can't be a guy that just picks who's winning. So
that's true.
Yeah,
that's what I'm good at personally. I was born and I was like, which sports teams are good right now when I was born? And I was like, I'll take the Pats, the Yankees. That's really all that matters.
I didn't get the choice. I was forced into the Steelers world. I was forced into the Red Sox world.
Thank God I wasn't forced into the Giants world. I mean, my life would suck.
You know what? I'm kind of
sorry to all you NYCFC fans if you're also Giants fans,
or Mets fans,
or even if you like the Jets. I apologize for what Belichick has done to all of you personally. I'll go on record and I'll apologize on his behalf.
To the Giants, you're gonna apologize to them? Because I don't think they should apologize to you.
That was in the past.
Look,
we don't talk about those ever.
I'm just saying.
Bro, if you have to win a Super Bowl because you had to use your helmet to catch a ball, I don't know if you really won it, but that's beside the point.
That's one of the most athletic things that has happened on a football field. Anyway,
wrong sport.
moving on back to the Portland game. I think we win that game, but I don't believe it's going to be comfortably. I see maybe 2-1, 2-0, maybe even tied and going to pens at the end.
I could see us probably conceding at least one goal. Realistically, I can see us conceding one goal. If we play like we played last game, that's not a problem. We'll outscore them for sure. Because I don't know if they've really been challenged in a way that we played last week in this tournament. Like FC Cincinnati, absolutely. They, like I said, they were on their back foot the whole game. They have not played something recently like how we just performed against Toronto. So that may catch them off guard. Hopefully Ronny doesn't try to play the mind games like you were saying and overcomplicate
the
situation. Because we know he likes to do that. Like, remember with the Champions League, his whole press conference, he was just hyping up Hey Bear, and then he sat him.
Yeah.
So we know that he's a fan of the mind games.
To a fault, I think. But look, if he genuinely taught them how to press like that and play that game plan in 6 days, imagine what he could have done in the past 3-4 days leading up to this game. I mean, it could look real dangerous. It could look,
or even if it didn't take 6 days and like you said, it was just something he had in his back pocket. For sure, it is the most irresponsible thing
not to use it
in the world, not to use it until that point.
Yeah.
Like, at the very least, I mean, aside from using it every game, which there's an argument for that, but at the very least, not to impose that against Inter when it's out of our hands unless we win that game by three to 4 goals. It's pretty much out of our hands. That's the most irresponsible thing. But if he was able to, and I guess, I mean, it would have had to be him. I mean, he's our manager. If he's able to get them to that point, and if he can keep them at that point, then his future is probably looking up. I'll say
looking
that.
Real bright.
Yeah.
Look,
our future is looking bright.
In our last episode, you can pull up the clip, play it if you want. I sat here and I said we pulled up the quote from the preseason when he got hired, that he would rather win 5-4 than lose 1-0. This game plan that he had in that last game showed that mentality.
That's what that is.
That's what that mentality was.
Yeah.
So if we're here, if we arrived, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too.
If it goes back to 3 in the back, I might pull my hair out. I might genuinely jump out of our window.
Yeah, it got a little sweaty at the end of that Toronto game after Mullins scored.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, we're still up by 2.
If anybody's gonna score, let it be Mullins.
Yeah,
he was a great guy. He would get the goal here and there. So if there's anybody, and not Josie, because I think honestly Josie, he lost a little bit of my respect in that game, and he has been losing a little bit of my respect. Because how can you go on Twitter and talk bad about somebody playing dirty and then go and play like you're a linebacker?
Immediately, the first thing you do.
Yeah, it's just... Look, and we were talking about it because we didn't even know if Chanot was that seriously hurt. It looked like he had whiplash or his back was injured.
Yeah.
Like, if he takes Chanot out of that game and they flip that and win that 4-3...
Or just force pens and...
Yeah, it's just... such reckless play, and he knew what he was doing. He never one time looked at the ball.
No.
And it makes me so mad.
And for the first thing, and that's probably why he got away with it without like a red or something, but just because it was his first, legit the first thing that he did in that game was run up and do that, which is just so, yeah, that means he came off the bench with
a plan.
Yeah, with a plan to play recklessly and come in and try to impose something. But it is what it is with him. Fortunately, we kind of have to love him in a way because he's American.
Yeah, I think internationally, I think he's
on
toasted.
his way. Yeah, he's pretty much on his way out. I don't think he'll play again. How do you play Josie over like a Bobby Wood or a Sargent or
who are playing at
Or
higher
even
levels
people,
elsewhere.
Yeah, that are.
Or people who we haven't even seen yet.
Morris is playing
Morris.
well.
So
I
many
would
guys.
rather have Zards over him too.
Yeah, I don't think our game plan. I know we're flipping so many different directions, but
Yeah.
welcome to our brain. I don't think our game plan should be like out the door is not Clint Dempsey.
No.
So our game plan isn't just revolve around our number 9 anymore. It can't be. It has to be, the Pulisic train.
It has to be the Utes.
The Utes.
Pulisic.
I'm excited.
Scully.
Hey, Scully.
Hey, get Hack in there. I don't care. If we can start getting him some minutes somewhere, I would hope, because wasted talent is awful. So we don't want to see that happen.
Even the kid from Arsenal that we have now, who's injured right now, the midfielder.
Oh.
Zelalem.
Zelalem.
Yeah.
Something with a Z.
Good youth.
He is. Is he American? He is, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy that
so much talent.
that NYCFC is the breeding ground for American talent, but I don't want to be the one to say it out loud. But it is cool to go on Twitter and see everybody saying that we are like the academy.
It's not cool.
We're
to see
the
on Twitter?
academy.
The super high expectations that come with being a New York team.
I know. This morning I woke up and I was just out and I'm just scrolling and I see the New York Post saying the MLS is back tournament crown would be something along the lines of it'd be great for NYCFC to prove themselves by winning it. Everything
probably written by a guy who's never watched a second.
Here's the thing. That's obvious. It would be great for any team in the tournament. It would be great for a team to win a tournament. That's the basis of what he said.
You know what is also great?
Yeah.
If you score more goals than the other team.
Yeah, that's how you win. Yeah. John Madden.
But it's it's so annoying. I mean, and we contribute to it. I will fully admit I contribute to it because I expect the most out of the team. But dude, let them breathe. Like, they barely got into the tournament.
Everything
not
right
to
now,
the tournament, but to the round of 16.
Yeah, this is all free soccer.
This is gravy.
This is free soccer. At this point, if we lose, hey, we had probably one of the best games we've ever played in Toronto, or against Toronto. We can take that as a win. If we can take time to make that our every game,
build on it.
Yeah, our every game tactic, and we're able to really perform that way, then we're gonna be good in the future. Yeah, we're a dangerous team like that.
But
those expectations.
You can't take 2 wins out of 4 games, only one of them looking good, and say, and also, and just have those expectations, but then to also have people predict that we win the whole thing before we've even played a round of 16 game.
Yep.
It seems ludicrous to think, but I guess that's how you get clicks. That's
what I was texting you about too with the story. Was like, I don't think it. I guess it bothers us to a different degree than it would like a casual fan. So a casual fan, if you just like live in the city, and it's obviously the club's goal to try to bring in more fans endlessly. That's every club's goal. This directly hurts their ability to do that if we now don't win the cup.
Yeah.
Because now a casual fan that just reads that or even scrolls past it, and now, they've locked it in their head. Oh, it looks like the team that I would claim should probably be winning this tournament. Let's see how it goes, even on such a basic level. And then say we get knocked out like the next game, or we don't even make it to the finals, or we get there and we don't win. Then they're like, I thought we were supposed to win. So, we're already a peg down in their mind. And if it's a casual fan that you're trying to get heavily into the club and really make them a fan and get them to come to games and sort of contribute a way that, we do, like you would want an ideal fan to, that's just not a good foot to start off on. And there's nothing the club can do about it. It's just these people outside creating these expectations for them. It's just really unfortunate.
That's the hole that New York teams and New York riders always dig themselves into. You pile a bunch of expectations on a team that would probably be good without them.
Yeah.
Definitely better without them. It's not great to have those distractions. It's tough. It's tough to perform when you feel like the media has an agenda against you.
Right.
So why stack the cards against your team? It's because anybody can get a computer
clicks,
and write
yeah.
an article and get clicks, and they know that's how they do it. It's just, I wish it was a little
It's sort of a New York mentality.
Have to have a certain amount of time or hours talking about a thing or watching a thing to be able to comment on it.
Before making like predictions even.
Yeah,
like,
that's when you can't.
especially
coming
to
from
such
two
a
guys-
wide audience, the New York Post too. Like a lot of people are gonna see that, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. So, anyways, looking forward to the game where.
At what point, actually, I just thought of this. At what point do you think you're happy with how this tournament turned out for us?
I'm good now.
Yeah.
In my brain, like we've gone way farther than I thought we would. So everything from here is gravy.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if I'm maybe expecting too much, but I sort of want us to beat Portland, and then I feel like we've really exceeded what we should have expected coming into this tournament. Of course, we talked about that infamous pre-recording that never saw the light of day, that
Yeah.
you guys never saw, thankfully.
And you won't see.
You'll never see it based on how poorly we played in the group games. But like we said in the first episode, was we were winning the cup, basically, is what we thought.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't see it, because it was basically just 30 minutes of us telling you guys how we're going to win it.
And then we played the exact opposite of what we thought we
Yeah,
would.
everything was different than what came out of our mouths. But I think right now it's cool where we are. I think that was probably a great showing to show everybody that we have that in the tank, and hopefully we can build on it. So we're probably right about where the expectations were. I think if we can win this next game, that I would be pretty content no matter what happens, depending on how the game goes. I mean,
Right.
if we get thrashed, I'm going to feel a little bit different. But if we're competitive through 90 minutes, and if we even push it to pen, like, this would be in the situation if we did take an L. As long as we're competitive for 90 minutes and trying, then I can't be mad at anybody for that.
I mean, looking at the bracket, there's nobody that jumps out at me that is super, super scary.
Yeah.
Like I'm not afraid
I think this is
for the boys to face LAFC or Orlando again, as long as we're playing to our best ability in terms of actually trying and actually doing the little things off the ball, on the ball, everything like that, we'll be fine, and I'll accept a loss if it comes. But I'm just, at this point, like I said, I just feel like we're lucky to get in. We had one of our best performances, one to build on.
Yep.
And if we do lose, it's not something that we need to dwell on. We definitely don't need to do like a Ronny out parade.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he, like I said, if he does the 3 in the back,
Yeah.
then it's Ronny out. I'm so serious. If it's 3 in the back, you'll see me on the next episode saying Ronny out.
Yeah.
I might even make a shirt.
Yeah, I think this is probably, would you agree this is probably going to be our most difficult game of the tournament up until this point, and potentially into the future, unless we make it to
I think
the finals.
Orlando was the hardest game, and if we play them again, we can only play them in the final.
Yep, right.
But if we play them again, that would be our hardest game. But at this point, I think Portland is up there with number 2,
Yeah.
1 or 2 the toughest games.
Because if we are able to get by Portland, then we've got SKC and we've got Philly.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully not Philly.
I think I was gonna say I would probably prefer Philly, just because we've seen them, and I feel like they may come in thinking that we're who they played 2 weeks ago, and I
Well-
think that would benefit us, because if we continue the form that we just had against Toronto, we're not that same team, and that's going to hurt them.
That is a big if.
Yeah, it is a big
Big
if,
if.
and we're gonna find out. But I think I would prefer Philly, just because, I mean, Polito on SKC is a baller. That's the guy, actually, I just thought, who did the jump penalty kick. He is a baller for sure. He can bang free kicks whenever he wants to.
Hey, we got guys.
We got guys too.
Guys.
We got guys,
I'm not
but they
worried.
yeah. There's a lot of guys in the tournament. This is probably, I would just think this is probably our toughest game until the finals if we get there. And then
I'd say it's tougher mentally than it is physically.
I would agree with that.
That's the best way I can summarize it.
Yep.
If we can get the mental right, physically we can dominate.
Everything
that
else
game.
will come then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now we're at a point where we know we can do it. We know what we did, and we know if we play like that again, we can do it again. And I'm not sure if there's too many teams with us playing that way that can get a result against us.
I can only think of LAFC.
That would be the only one.
Because they have the quality to tactically outplay that or play or counter it at least.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And depending on what happens in the semifinals, I wanted to talk about this. Were we in a group of death, bro? Because
if you look at the rest of the tournament,
if Philly goes through and if Orlando go through, we're 3 out of the 4 of the final 4. That's a group of death right there. It
sounds a bit. I agree, but it sounds a bit Arsenal excuse type thing.
Building up
a little
something
bit
to get out of it.
It's like,
if it does happen.
I
mean, we got out of it though, but
barely. I'm happy to be where we are. Mm-hmm. We'll assess if we have a nice and easy out after Portland.
Yep.
But I'm happy. I'm a happy New York fan. I'm excited to see what these boys do.
Yeah. We're gonna have to see who we end up playing.
Man of the match for
this
Portland
game. I don't know.
Or
I need a.
Can I rephrase it? Maybe?
Yeah, I need a little bit to even think about it. From each side.
Well, no. Do who you think the man of the match will be, and who you think needs to be the man of the match in order for us to win.
I think that Maxi needs to be the man of the match for us to win. If he plays like he did in Toronto, then that's it. A goal and an assist, that should be enough to probably put us through, because I can't see them scoring more than 2 against us, or more than 1 against us, rather. But who do I think will be the man of the match? I don't know who I think will, but who I would love to be the man of the match would be Tati, I think. I think I would love for him to score a brace. Like, that to me would be so fire to get him like really on his you know what I'm talking about, on his game.
Yeah,
really on fire. And like, man, I don't know, he's already hot. I would love to see if he hits 2 more, like how much he's going to be feeling himself. So same to you. What do you think about those?
I think prediction for man of the match, I want to Tinnerholm. Tinnerholm gets man of the match with. I'll go as crazy to say that he'll get a goal and assist. So the classic Tinner boom and a cross.
He's been flirting with it though.
Yeah.
With that goal.
So I guess I'll predict that. And who I think needs to be man of the match, a combination of Sean Johnson, because he needs. If we are ball watching, he needs to be on his absolute best, because you saw since he's keeper, he wasn't tracking the ball too well. Mm-hmm. So in situations where Portland is very good at whipping those balls in, like you said, he wasn't putting himself in the position to close that down at all. And I think Sean Johnson has a little more confidence to go out and get one. Mm-hmm. So I think he needs to do that. But Chanot needs to lead that line and have another performance like they did in the last game.
Yep.
And really shut that down, because if Tinnerholm is out there not allowing crosses and Mats is in there not allowing crosses and those center backs are in the right positions, you can cancel their whole game plan out.
Yeah.
With those 2 guys really being on their game. So that's who I want.
So the defense is really, for you, going to be pretty much the key to this game.
Because we've seen, I don't need to go over the first 3 games to tell you we can struggle at times to score goals.
Yep.
So in the case that last game was not necessarily a fluke, but just a poor Toronto or a solid game plan, like one of those off chances.
Yep.
If we can't score more than a goal, we need to not concede anything.
Yep.
So that's why I think they need to be at their best, and we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I think the two final, last, very important, very quick things that I would like to see out of this game is I want a Sean Johnson clean sheet, not against an expansion team where the rest of the team is playing poorly and he's not really facing any shots. I want that. I want a clean sheet for Sean, and man, I really, really want Hebert to get a goal. I think that is very important for us in the next two games if we get to see the next two games.
Even Matrica getting a goal contribution.
But yeah, Matrica or
assist
Hebert.
or a goal. I think they both desperately need it.
Yeah, I think Matrica even more so needs it. Really.
I think he's still got
confidence.
He got an
assist, but
he's still got confidence, but it just doesn't, like, there's something that's not clicking.
It's something very small mentally, I think, because we know that he has it in him. Just mentally, there's probably something.
There's a ton. I mean, like, we'll go back to it again, but there's a ton of pressure being an athlete for a New York team, coming in for a huge price,
biggest in history.
Yeah. So look, I'll give them the pass, but we do need to start seeing more.
Yeah.
We've seen flashes of it, but I'd like to see more. And with that,
man, we've become soft on these boys.
I know.
After they played that Toronto game, if you even watch episode 1 and 2, we've become soft on these guys.
If you watch 2 minutes of that first episode, that is a throwaway.
That one. I mean, even our first uploaded episode and our second one, we sort of went in on these guys, and then we were like, oh, we like you guys play that type of football.
We like that one.
Hey, we could deal with Matrica being a little not all there.
Yeah. As long as the rest of the team
things are clicking.
Who cares?
Yeah, well, that's sort of what you have to hope for is if Matrica's out of form, at least have the rest of the team performing, so that he can maybe fall into that same groove as everyone and hopefully kick him up there and get him going. But
competition starts with people getting goals. I don't have to keep saying it. There's no competition for positions right now unless you're scoring goals. That's the only way you're gonna find yourself in the team. Unless Ronny doesn't have a backbone, in that case, Ronny out.
And that's why we'll probably see Tati start.
Yeah.
We'll probably see Maxi start this week, I would assume. But yeah, that was a long one, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
But
it's getting more natural. We're getting kind of the feel for it.
Yeah, it gets a little. This time I didn't feel really too nervous to talk. Really, it definitely felt natural. That's a good word for it.
We're definitely getting the hang of it. Hopefully, it's starting to look better, sound better,
settling in. Yeah.
We're just trying to do this genuinely, as cliche as it sounds. We're really doing this for us at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make the best possible content and pump it out.
Just learning about making content, really.
Our Twitter, go ahead and follow that, Post90 Podcast. That's Post90Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Same thing, yep. Same thing for email. If you want to send us any emails about anything, we're open to any offers. We're down.
Yeah. If you want to, we can't hang out. It's Corona.
Yeah.
But
if you want to call in.
Yeah,
we could do some cool stuff like that. If there was any interest in it, I'm so down.
Yeah. Or any ideas that you have that you want to see,
or anything you're looking for out of content about the club, because like we said, we're down to learn and down to try really anything and just get some stuff out there for everybody. So we know we love the club, and we know before we did something like this what we were looking for out of content creators around other clubs. We're our main media that we pay attention to is essentially just all online stuff. We don't have TV. We look at YouTube and stuff like that, and we follow our respective clubs and even our respective sports teams on all of those platforms. And beyond the sports teams, what we're looking for is content creators, like regular people just like us that are trying to hop on a mic or trying to hop on FIFA, trying to hop on whatever they can just to have a good time and connect with other people that care about the club, because those are the best people to share these things with. It's so great to be able to share that Toronto game, or even more so that Pavon penalty, that was so cool, and it all of us together experienced that super special thing that in the last minute of the last hour of the entire group stages we somehow snuck our way into the tournament, and that's something I mean, really, if you're a diehard NYCFC fan, you won't forget that ever.
Yeah, or even during the game, live tweeting it, interacting with you guys, interacting with NYCFC forums, tactics,
Nation.
all of the guys who are tweeting, just to conversate with you guys and really be in there is it's the best thing that's come from this.
Right.
So thank you guys for that. Thank you for anybody who's watched even a minute of this.
Anyone that's even liked a tweet, retweeted a tweet.
It's insane. I would die happy with 30 views.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have 30 views on the first episode. I could die happy with that.
Feels cool,
That is like the coolest thing in the world, that anybody in the world will watch it. So, thank you guys. We're going to keep trying to do our best. And
Go Blues. We'll see you
boys in
very
blue.
soon, Portland.
All right.